Howdy, howdy, Chester College, Humanities 4 Film Studies. This is our first day in the course, spring 2022. Each, probably twice a week, I'll be doing these lectures, so keep your eyes out them. I post them on Canvas. You'll watch them on modules. Hope you guys are getting acquainted with Canvas. If you haven't used it yet, please take the tutorial. Please look around how to use it because everything we do is going to be on there. You'll see my announcements. I finally made one today because Canvas was shut down on my computer since yesterday, but we got it going again. And so I didn't make an announcement till 2:30 or 3. Um, so that's where you'll look for the announcements for what we're doing this week or every day. I would check with them daily. Um, Today, it's chaotic this week, so there's nothing due, so don't worry yet. The first essay will probably due. I'll sign it next week. And if you look at the syllabus, go through the syllabus, go through it step by step. You're going to need two books. You're going to need The Story of Film by Mark Cousins. I don't care what edition, I think there's two, whatever one you could get. And if the bookstore doesn't have it, the library might have a copy, or you might have to rent it, and you know how to do that, right? Um, I'll give you more of the information in announcements. Um, and then there's a small book that goes with it. It's called How to Write About Movies. You're going to be writing about movies. And I don't just mean your opinions or whether you like the movie or not. I don't really care what that is. I want you to look at these film clips I show you, you'll have to watch, movies you'll have to watch, and you're going to write critically about them. You're going to critically analyze the film, what makes them matter. We're going to take a film from every decade up until right now. Hopefully, we can get through all that. So, we're starting early days, silent films, black and white. You're going to love it. And you'll be looking at it with your critical eye. And I'll give you more instructions on how that's going to work, like next week when I assign the first assignment. But a key to it is you're not giving your modern day opinion, your TikTok, YouTube, streaming services on your iPhone opinion. You're going to look at the film through the context and when it was made, as if you're in a movie theater in that decade or that day that the movie came out, and you never seen anything like it before. And you're going to try to look at it with fresh eyes and figure out why it matters and why we're still talking about it over 100 some years later. So, but I'll get into all the technical stuff later, not tonight. I just want you guys to look at that syllabus and I want you to go down and through it and give you a good example of what we're doing. You're going to be doing essays. This is all about writing. I don't like pop quizzes. That doesn't mean anything to me. You will new, I want you guys to start thinking critically and analyzing. That little book you're going to get called How to Write for Movies is going to help you how to break down a film. What is a master shot? What does a director do? I know those seem simple, but do you really know? Why is the camera moving? Why is it not moving? What does that matter? What's it trying to accomplish? Is it accomplishing what the director is trying to convey according to the time when it was made? And so when we get more into these essays, I'll explain more. But I'm going to ask you to take your modern day knowledge of what you see on contemporary films, television, and don't compare this day to 100 years ago. There's no reason for that. That's not critical thinking. This is like literature. Film is our collective art form. It's our collective literature, and I treat it as such. When I say collective, it's because it usually, in the old days, took going to a movie theater to see the movie. Now that's all changed with streaming services, and we can watch anything we want in the privacy of our own wherever we live. But it's still a shared art form. It takes a lot of people to watch a movie. Yes, one person can watch the movie, but they're not making movies for one people. They don't spend two, $300 million nowadays on movies for one person to watch it. They want maximum audiences, and that's the beauty of film, cinema. Is because it was made to be appreciated by a lot of people, packing the movie theaters. French director who's still alive, by the way, in 91 or so, and he's still making films, folks. That's the power of cinema. He once said that everything is cinema. And he said that about 60 years ago, and it might have seemed silly at the time, or he was uh, exaggerating. But if you think about it, think about that. Are you guys out taking videos of your cats, of the meal you had at a restaurant, and then showing them to your friends? That's cinema, folks. Everything is cinema. We're we've got cameras everywhere, recording our every move. Everything is cinema. It doesn't seem so silly now. And everything's a story, and we all have a story to tell. That's why we keep making movies. That's why we keep doing this art form. So please look at the syllabus, go down and read it carefully. Yes, there's all the usual legal stuff about that we have to have in our syllabuses. It's kind of generic that way, but that's stated California, Shasta College. We have to put things like treating people nicely, not being disruptive. Now we're not in a class, so I assume you're not going to be disruptive. But we are going to be in discussion groups. I'm going to post a discussion tonight, actually. So go into your Canvas, look on the left-hand corner. You'll see my announcements, and you'll see assignments. You'll see discussions. Towards the bottom, you'll see modules. That's where I'm going to post this video for you to watch. I record these things on my YouTube channel, but you can watch them on modules when I post it there, when I give you the link to it. I'll try to keep these brief. Sometimes I don't talk a long time because I know your time is limited and you'll get bored just watching me yak about films, but that's part of the class. A large part of the class is paying attention, listening to what I have to say, taking notes, just like being in the classroom. When I assign chapters to read, I won't do that till I know everybody's gotten a book. I won't assign anything to read till next week, maybe longer. We'll have to figure out if everybody could get a chance at getting the books. Um, in discussions, I'll ask you to discuss, and they are called discussions. Just don't make a yes or no or a like this or don't like that statement. That's not discussing. I'll say, what do you think of this? Discuss it. And I do look at them. Sometimes I join in, but I usually let you do the discussion. You don't need me to keep piping in. The discussions are for you. They're for all of us. The better the discussion, the more lively it is, the more detailed, the more honest it is, the better the discussion. And that's how we get to know each other. So, this first discussion, which I'm going to post a little later tonight, is essentially introduce yourself. Who are you? Why do you matter? And then give us a little brief description on who we are so we know who's in our class together. There's about 30 of you so far, or maybe more because we're adding people all the time. Um, Maybe you know some people already. You'll see me every week here. I rarely get to see you. I may throw a Zoom meeting in there. Oh, these will all be announced later. It's not easy to Zoom when there's too many people and everybody can't be there in the same time. But I may give extra points to showing up for the Zooms. Okay, that'll give some motivation to actually be at the Zoom meetings, and then I'll do one of these lectures on Zoom instead of on what I'm doing now, which is taping it on YouTube. Um, so look at that syllabus and look at the books you have to buy and get them as soon as you can, where they're going to come in handy, because the lectures I do are going to follow the book, The Story of Film, and then I have a documentary, The Story of Film, by Mark Cousins. A lot of the episodes are on YouTube and on Canopy. Have you used Canopy yet? It's through Shasta College Library. It's free to you guys. Um, they may, so I'll be signing films through there, through YouTube. And I hate to say it, usually I do this stuff in the classroom, but we're not there right now because I have access through this through the classroom. You may have to pay for it. Don't get upset now. You're saving all that money not driving to college every day, and it's not much. If I assign you a movie, you might have to pay $2.99 to watch it. Just think of this: it's like buying another book, and I want to try to save you guys money. Both the books I have, you could get used. Um, don't spend a lot of money on these books. But by next week, I'm going to keep asking you if anybody's getting closer to get to the books. Tell me when you get them so I can start assigning the readings. It's going to take a little bit. I realize that. Don't panic about nothing yet. This week is our opening week. We're introducing ourselves, introducing the course. You're going to familiarize yourself with me and my wily methods. I'm really open. Uh, I don't. I'm really easy on people who do honest, hard work. Fair, if the work is fair. If it's late with a ton of excuses, you will lose points. Um, there's not a lot of points in the class. Look at the point system. You could go from an A to a B pretty quickly. Um, you're going to be, besides the essays, you're going to be keeping a portfolio or a reflective journal. That's like a diary. If you haven't done it, and I'm going to post, I won't do it this, I'll do it this later this week. I'm going to post some samples of what I'm looking for. They're usually, this course is 17 weeks long, and there's usually a entry for each week. What did we do? What were my lectures about? What did you read in the book? Um, and what reflection on it? That's important. Not just telling me what we did, but also reflecting on it. What I got out of chapter one was, what I got out of the professor's lecture was, and then a brief description. The whole thing shouldn't be more than a paragraph long, but you need to do 17 of those, what you did each week. If you miss a week, you got to tell me. Just be honest and say missed it. You miss too many, you will lose quite a few points. You got to show up to get the grade you deserve. I'll probably do another lecture, not tomorrow, but Friday, that you can look at on your own time over the weekend because we're just starting. We're starting in the middle of the week. So usually we start, on Monday. I'll try to do these lectures on Monday and Wednesday. Um, you check them out on your own accord. If you let a bunch of them go by, you're going to get behind because I give out the information you need in the lectures and the announcements. So the first thing you're going to do to this week is go to the discussions. I haven't opened it yet. I haven't even announced it. I'm announcing it now. And start participating in the discussion. What I usually like to see is you make a statement or comment and then reply to one other student. Yes, I agree with you on this. I don't agree with you on that. I like what you're saying. Good luck with your career. Something that's called a discussion. The discussions is graded. There's no A or B, but I grade it by points as part of your participation in the class. These lectures, the discussions are all part of your participation. You'll see it in the syllabus. And then towards the end of this semester, there will be a quiz. It'll be based on a documentary film that you'll have to watch. And last time I saw it, it was free on YouTube. Hopefully, it still is. Yes, you'll have to suffer through it, take notes, and there'll be 3 questions involving that documentary. And you'll have a day or two to do the quiz. Don't worry about that yet. That's not for another 15 weeks. Don't worry about that stuff yet. And then there's going to probably, unless I change my mind, a final research paper, which is a little different than these essays. I'll talk about all this later. Don't worry about any of this yet. I've had a couple emails from you all about wanting specifics on the assignments. Well, each week it's different. I don't assign the same essays in all my classes. I like to mix it up. I like to challenge myself and to see where it takes us. But right now, each essay will involve probably having to watch a film from each decade that filmmaking began: 1900, 1920, 1930, 1940, on it goes. And you'll be writing a critical essay about that. 3 to 5 pages. I'll announce all this on assignments. You'll see more detail later. Don't worry about, I don't want to overload you guys with too much info, too much detail. This is just beginnings. But I do want you to be prepared to do some good writing. And if you don't think you're a good writer, well, you're going to be good. Along with me, my help and suggestions, and that book, How to Write About Movies, you are going to become expert critics. Criticism isn't meant to be negative. It's turned into a negative thing with everybody giving a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That's not criticism. That's just basic opinion. Critical thinking is how to analyze a film, analyze a novel, analyze literature, analyze a painting, analyze, trying to understand, give it a deeper meaning, and why does it matter? Why are we watching certain films 80, 90 years after they were made? They must have done something important to the culture. They had a cultural effect. This is a humanities class. And that means we're going to always talk about the culture of the times when these films were made, not our times right now. We'll get to that later. So when I talk about films that are made in the 30s, I'm going to give you historical, cultural background. Culture simply means what's going on in the environment. Politicians, depressions, prohibition, what was going on in the world. What's going on in the world right now? Same thing, except for it's all recorded on our TikTok videos. Okay, so no, we didn't have that in those days, in the old days. So that's the journey. Come on the journey with me. I've been passionate about film since I was about, I'm not kidding, 5 years old. My mother used to take me to the movies. For some reason, my brothers didn't go very often. I was her little movie buddy, and she started taking me to the movies long before you guys were existed on the planet Earth. And she took me to movies she wanted to watch, not children's movies. And so she sort of made me the cinematic monster I am right now. I blame my mother, and I think she regretted it. Whereas my friends were all going to see Disney movies and and all that. She never took me to that stuff. She took me to the movies she wanted to watch. Did I understand them? I don't know, but they seeped into my DNA, and that's how it goes. And I wouldn't have it any other way. So, welcome to the class. Watch this video. Check on your Canvas announcements frequently. You need to get a hold of me. Don't do it through the Shasta College email. Do it through my private email. I prefer that. rexhaas@yahoo.com. It's in the syllabus. Or text me. Don't really call me because I won't know the number, so I won't answer. But if you text me, 530-941-9661, make sure you tell me who you are and what class you're in. Because I've got several classes and I won't know who you are. And don't make me go through the list to try to find out exactly what class you're talking about. I teach another humanities class and I teach it for another college where I'm teaching creative writing. So make sure you tell me who you are and what class you're in. Other than that, the weather's beautiful. It's a little cold. I know we need the rain, but it doesn't have to be cold to have rain. The best you can. And all I'm going to say, it's not a waste of time. They're not just entertainment. They tell us who we are. With that, story of film continues next time I see you.